I'm Peter Berninger. I'm here with Peter Quattro from AudioNut. Peter, how are you?
Hi Peter, I'm alright. What we're showing this year is essentially the sort of updated versions mainly in terms of finish of the turntable, which this is the TT2 Deluxe, which has real veneer on a plywood base. We've got the new arm, the new basic arm, which this is the top version of the basic arm. We got the new power supply for the turntable, which realigns the faces of the motor, so each is set up to recognize the phase of the motor.
It's a DC motor?
No, the AC.
No, AC motor.
We are not believers in DC motors. DC motors are not speed constant in our view, or speed constant enough, which is why you need a heavy platen to maintain the speed, because the motor does not, the servo systems that control the motor do not, contrary to popular belief, remain speed constant. It's a feedback system. It cannot be by its very nature speed constant. Since last year we've upgraded the digital front end. Last year we were using an integrated CD4. This year we're using a CDT3 transport with a DAC3 balanced DA converter.
And here's a DA right here.
David decided to buy some very fancy tubes for this year. And one of them so high we can't get the lid back on, which I think is an advantage, because I think it looks rather good.
It does look good. What tube is that?
That is a 6X5, but it's a 1940s Kenrad, engraved base Kenrad. They're quite rare, these things. Power amp is, last year we were using a Jinro Sochu, which is the power amp version, the fully balanced power amp version. This year we're using a level 4, which is the Toma power amp. Again, input transformer, driver stage, driver transformer, output stage and output transformer. So there's very, very little in the circuit in the way of the signal.
What's the retail price on the amplifier?
I think it's about 55,000.
55.
Yeah. And we're using the new ISIS cables, which are our top of the range copper cables. I developed those mainly because silver is getting so bloody expensive that even the cheap silver cables are more expensive to make than some of the more expensive copper cables. And I worked out a configuration that in many ways offers advantages over silver cables with a smaller number of strands. Once you go to silver with a lot of strands, silver is still vastly superior. But then it's also vastly more expensive. And this makes for a good compromise. And interestingly, this cable works very well with non-audio node equipment, which was never the intention. Or so I am told. I have not tried it myself. But we sell a lot of this in Hong Kong, and they've sold many, many kilometers of it. And the rumor that, or the feedback we're getting back is that even in purely transistorized systems, this cable works better than most things, which I have to be honest and say that surprises me considerably.
Huh?
But I'm not, who am I to complain about that?
You make it and then you find you build a better mousetrap.
Absolutely.
And then, okay.
ANE SPE-HE, which is the high efficiency version of the standard ANE, so they're quite far down the food chain as far as the speaker range is concerned. The next model up has separate crossovers.
Well, it's
quite a lot more expensive. So.
Let's kick back and do some listening.
Mountains start to tumble into the sea. Bless every nation, praise all creation. Give thanks for all we have on
Book of White. Born in 1909.
Died in 77,
Passed on,
68.
Passed on in 77, yeah.
Using his guitar.
Is long overdue.
Oh.
So this is somebody else.
Lord knows it's true.
I shall now find out who it is. It's recorded in
Got to quit going
2008.
up and see.
Oh, it's Eric Bibb.
We got one last
Of
chance
course,
to
was made famous by Opus 3 in Sweden, where he lived for many years.
You got one soul to save. Are you gonna do it?
He is quite wonderful, Eric Bibb. I've seen him
One
live
soul to
twice.
save. Are you ready now? There's one soul to save, and it's a mighty good time. I do believe that time.
That's great, listening to the blues in the audio note room with Peter Kortrup. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.